But yeah, so we have 4 different KYCs, 0 to 25K. So we have to KYC everyone.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there is no KYC on the 0 to 5,000. So, but we need them to sign the terms and conditions. They need to accept terms and conditions, and we need some information to communicate with them. And the basic KYC is that you put in your name, your address, and your email. That's the simple KYC. So it's not much more. But
wow. So for under 25K,
that
you just put in, wow.
Yeah. So that's what we should use for anyone then, because I think that the majority will be in this level anyways.
Yeah. Wait, so you're telling me that if I donate 24K, I just give you an email and whatever name I want to go by? I don't have to show ID. I don't have to do anything.
Okay,
like
let me be precise on that. Let me check it again, because there is maybe there's a picture of your ID, but not more. There's no video call or anything. Where's the?
So you have to prove your residency as well, right?
Yeah, it's sorry. Yes, it's online verification. It's a live selfie. So but it's pretty simple. And proving residence is just a so everything above 5,000 needs that. So, and I thought if we probably will have anyone pay in this anyways, like 5,000. If we ask for 10,000 anyways, then probably everybody will be above that.
Is the minimum 10?
So it's a live selfie.
I mean, we're seeding the 10K, but people can have partial memberships, right?
Say again?
People can have partial memberships. If someone only wants to donate $1,000, technically they can.
Yes, but we have one member that represents this group, and he would do the KYC.
Okay, so there would have to be combined with someone who has done KYC. We couldn't have one person who represents 10 people who gave 1,000.
No, I didn't understand that. Say again.
It's an edge case, for sure.
Yeah.
But we couldn't have 10 people who are donating $1,000, combine them all into one person and have one of those people represent them.
Yes, exactly.
We could or we could not.
Yes, we can. But still, we would have like to put them on the whitelist. They still need to have. We need the list of names for these people. I think where did we put that? Somewhere we put it down. I think it's in the statutes or in the. It's not in the terms and conditions. I think it's in the statutes. I think we put it down that you can have like memberships that are represented by one member. But this member could be appointed by others to be the representative.
Mm-hmm.
So he would be the owner of the. He would do the KYC, and he would have the voting rights as well. He would be the delegate, and he would simply have a list of people that gave him the 1,000. Let's say.
Would the delegate have to KYC for like the amount of money he puts in, or would he have to KYC for the money of the entire group?
For the group.
Okay, so then effectively they would have to do KYC. They would, or even, I mean, is there a tax implication for them?
No, there's no tax implication.
Okay, so effectively we would just, anyone who is doing less than 1,000, less than 5,000, we'd probably group them with other people who have done more than 10,000.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, that seems like an easier way to go. So basically, like, you can have a partial membership, but you're going to be represented by someone who has a full membership. or more.
Yes.
So full membership is as of 10 only, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
So if I would do, if I understand everything now, imagine that I do 4,999. I don't have to use my ID, so I can skip that one. But I can have and I will have a part of a membership of a bigger one.
Yes, but you don't have any voting rights or anything. You're just on the whitelist. So at the end, the result will be you will be on the whitelist and you can be in a hatch phase. That's the result you have. But there's no voting rights, nothing.
But I have a
So-
voting right that I share with the group that I'm combined in. That person
Yes.
delegate voting right.
At the end, if you, and this depends again on the multiplier, but at the end, you might have to go through KYC again in the when you go into the hatch phase, because if you spend then more than 5,000 in the hatch phase, then you have to go through KYC.
At least through our DAO.
Yeah, exactly. The DAO we create. Yeah.
No. Okay. And then the other piece is that if we are working for this thing and we get on the whitelist for over 10K, do we need to do KYC? Do we need to KYC the workers? Not really.
No, only when they participate in the DAO in the hatch phase.
Okay. And then do we need to? I had something else. Oh yeah. Do they have to say what residency they're in if they're donating less than 5K? Like, should we have some sort of checkbox that says, I promise that I'm not from the U.S., China, or like whatever. Like just to like cover our ass a little bit.
On the association side or the DAO?
On the association side.
No, the association doesn't care about the residency.
I guess that we're just taking a donation. So the residency.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, on the DAO side, will people be able to be unaccredited investors from the United States?
Well, I still believe yes. There's because the DAO will be an entity, but it doesn't have any physical person attached to it. Like there's a group of people, and so the funny part is the investor himself is responsible for the DAO as well. You know, so if the SEC would go after or would protect investors, he would have to go after the same people he's trying to protect.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because the DAO is really a community construct. It doesn't have like a single person or everything is done through the voting system. There's no person that is single responsible for that.
So, I mean, like, are you saying that, because this is a big question for me on KYC, can I tell Luke that he can put in less than 5K and into the DAO later as an American without having to do any KYC? Like, or even can he put in more than 10K?
Yes, that's based on the KYC we do, based on the Swiss KYC. Yes, and that's the role of Mount Pelerin to cover that part because they're Swiss regulated.
So they promise, like, can we get like some sort of statement from them that says that? Well, no, because they're not the ones necessarily doing KYC for the DAO.
No, so what we have to do is, so the part of the DAO, this creating the DAO as an entity is the relationship between Mount Pelerin and the DAO. That is a contract, or I don't even know if it will be a contract or anything, but it's the Mount Pelerin accepts the DAO as an entity. And that's the point that I'm working on, is that we create this register where Mount Pelerin says, I accept to work or have agreements with any company that is registered in this book, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is where, and this is the decision that Mount Pelerin can do. It's nobody can stop them from doing that.
Okay, so because they're a Swiss company, they can accept the registration of a DAO on the smart contract, and they can do KYC, and that DAO can choose to take U.S. investors and risk being sued by the SEC if they want, right?
Yeah, because they would, again, they would sue the same people that they would protect.
It's interesting.
The decisions are made by consensus or by certain voting participation. And so if the decisions are made by the majority of the people participating in the DAO, then these investors will be part of that. They will be the decision makers as well. It's a catch-22.
I'm still thinking that the SEC would sue them anyway, right? Like, why wouldn't they? If they wanted to, or if something went wrong, you know?
Yeah, but it's that really wouldn't make any sense, because then they're not protecting the investors, because they're attacking the same people that are investing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to, it's still such a stretch for me to want to take donations from Americans and tell them and promise them that they can donate to the DAO later. You know, I feel like this.
Sure, I understand. Let me. So I will talk again to this lawyer that I'm working on with the DAO, and I will exactly phrase that question to him, and tell him what we want to do, and if he would accept or agree to this. In addition, I can once I have sort of this streamlined, I can go to Patrick and Raphael and see if they agree to that part, because Raphael and Patrick are not yet involved in creating the DAO entity. They know that we're going to do this, but they're not deeply involved in that. So it's a two-step approach that I can take now. So I can go to Guido, who's the lawyer. Clara.
Sorry.
Sorry. So I will go to Guido and go exactly through this use case, and see what if he agrees to my rationale. Then I can go with this with the result. I can go to Raphael and Patrick and see if they agree to that as well.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is just like the big question is, can we confidently take money from Americans and other countries that are in the similar boat? And like, and this is specifically me, right? And give me the promise that I can donate to the token bombing curve, or I can like participate in the token bombing curve without any kind of fears, you know, and not for me, but like that the DAO entity won't reject me from doing it because of regulatory fears later. You know, that's like it's a very hypothetical.
Right? Yeah, I understand. Sure. But I'm pretty sure that we can really manage that, and it would be amazing, and it would be great. You know, it would be a real great accomplishment. But it's so logic to me that it's, you know, I don't see any reason this wouldn't work or wouldn't hold up at the end.
I mean, the challenge I have is that the SEC took a big stretch and said the DAO was a security, which I like. When I read their arguments, I'm like, no, these aren't true. These aren't even how the DAO was structured. You know, like this is one lie after another that's like just not true, right? But in the end, they just said the DAO was a security, you know? So this is where it gets into this, like, it's if we can get to the point where we can do the token engine, where we can do this stuff without, and we just say for until this question gets answered. We just don't allow Americans to get in first, you
Yeah,
know?
but the point is, the question will only be answered once somebody goes to court, because before that, it's just speculation. It's just or interpretation. That's the whole thing. So the SEC, as they write things, and you can read this last report of this one person. I don't know his name right now, but he really states that if it's decentralized, if it's not owned by a single entity that has influence over things, then they don't see this as a security anymore. So it's
Yeah.
that is the
That's true.
statement they made just end of last year. I think he made this report.
Yeah.
And this is the same thinking that the Swiss authorities have as well. They really say that the technology is so beneficial for this for protecting investors, or everybody that is involved has to have knowledge of the technology. And if the technology really represents what it's sort of markets, like it's decentralized, and it really is decentralized, then they don't have any issues with that.
Wait, but what if we have escape hatches and like centralizing security features?
That's a good point. 1 second. Damn, my dog just walked out with the T-shirt in his.
Oh no! Yeah, go get him. Go get him. Okay, we'll move on because we went kind of long on this one anyway. But it's a deep one. So the next is the project roadmap. I have made some progress on it. I still need to finish up with Giveth and outline that. And I also still need to really finish the last two. We added in some extra budget for an interesting centralizing feature called Mahoots. That basically a Mahoot is a dude that walks around with an elephant in Thailand, especially, but also in India. Basically, anytime, not so much the African elephants, the Asian elephants. And Mahoots are like they're partnered with an elephant, and they get to be the human interface for that elephant to the rest of the world. Right? They'll make sure the elephant gets fed. They'll take the elephant out logging and like make it do work, and then but everyone wins, right? And so what we want to do is for the fear was that if we don't have some sort of people that we can pass the individual launches to, then we will not have the focus to do the next launch. So we're creating this Mahoot feature, which is basically we'll give 20 grand. To determine what Field Test Commons cause is, we'll have like communities compete in an application process, and those communities will have to define certain things to be accepted. Then I think we'd have a membership vote, and then which is like one person, one vote, with based off of how many memberships you have. One membership, one vote, and then we have this like. System where people once that cause gets elected, we'll fund the Mahoots to build a culture, a process, and all this stuff so that we can pass them the field test comments, and they will report back to us the info that we need to build the next one, right? But we don't have to do that reporting. The Mahoots will tell us, oh yeah, this user experience is really hard. These are the big pain points that we need to fix for the next version. And then we don't have to also do the community handholding of whatever commons cause there is.
Is this role held by a single person or a community?
Probably two people within a community become the Mahoots of that community. And the Mahoot idea is really great because Mahoots are also considered bad in general. Right? And we consider them bad too because they're kind of points of centralization. They have leadership within the DAO, but external of us. It's definitely within their own community. and we might be even able to like make them the escape hatch callers, right, and do different things to make to distance ourselves from the DAO as the Common Stack Association with this Mahoots option. But then really we can start building the next one. You want me to mute?
Yeah, I was just. Okay, I was just wondering if that name is final, and the reason that I would challenge it is like if you can find something.
It's hard to understand you. I think you're.
What the function really is, it's one less of a term that people have to understand in an already very complex environment that they're getting to learn. And it's like, oh, Mahout, what the hell is that? A new code system that I have to learn now. So maybe there's in the commons terminology we already have a word or a more understandable word. That's just my feedback I would give on that one.
I'm a bit concerned. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a bit concerned now because this would really create an attack vector for authorities. Then you really have a person that has some say over this construct, this smart contract system, because at the end he can pull the trigger on it. So if this wouldn't be one person, but it would be a group, maybe even, and then you have a random selection of people that participate in this group. This could be out of the members. You always choose like a round robin system or something.
Well, we can take them away from the escape hatch caller stuff if that's need be, but their real role would be to build policies, procedures, define scope, write documentation, support the cultural side. They don't need to even participate in the smart contract side, and they would be paid by the DAO.
So could we really make them like a supplier or a service provider?
They would definitely be a service provider.
So they could be exchanged as well. So they have to deliver some certain things, and they can be exchanged. Definitely,
they can be fired for sure.
And by the community itself.
Yep.
By the token holders. Okay, that's important, because then they still have control. So the community still needs control. It's great to have somebody that is sort of funneling things, is sort of the central point that gives information or collects information or whatever, but he should not be responsible for the sort of entity. And so I think the escape hatch is definitely a good use, but again, it needs to be triggered by sort of the community itself, which could then be a risk, because it could be gamed or something.
It could be gamed, but more importantly, it doesn't have the urgency of holy shit, there needs to be someone who can push this button.
Okay.
I mean, I can find anonymous people to be that person, but that's a hard sell. It's we could do the white hat group, right? We could say the white hat group has control.
Well, there is. I mean, I know that projects already incorporate that. So even in the MakerDAO, I think they have that.
I don't think so.
I do think so. I think they have that for DAI. Actually, they can pull the trigger on DAI. I'm pretty sure.
In a CDP, you mean? They can't pull the trigger on DAI, the token, that's for sure. But maybe individual CDPs. They have a global settlement. They can pull the trigger on the whole system for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
you're right.
Are we still talking project roadmap here?
I guess not.
No, we're talking legal right now. Sorry.
No, okay. I mean,
yeah, maybe I can just bring in the point Zargan made. So we're basically building community centers. Each of these field test commons is like a community center, a place for communities to run certain functions, and we're shipping this community center to communities, and the Mahout, or the community, not necessarily organizer. We went with Mahout because yes, they're in charge, but really they're not in charge. And this will be the same, function of this person in the community. They're not in charge of making these decisions. They're basically onboarding the community to using this community center, and then feeding back, to us, important information, relaying important information to the community, not necessarily making top-down decisions in a position of control, but which is why we went with the Mahout. But I think that could be an analogy. I don't know. Elephant riding and elephant stuff is just so not popular right now. I don't know if that's as Chris said, the clearest way to say it. But anyway, it can be a useful analogy for sure.
It definitely nails it from an analogy side of things, but we can get back to whether or not the Mahout should be the thing. I think we're going to push it though. Be ready for it to be a yes, because the elephant is a common for our audience. I think the elephant is a very common analogy for complex systems. That analogy of like, oh, a blind man touches this thing and he feels the trunk and it's like a snake, and he touches this other one and it's an alligator, right? Like, and the blind man touches this, but really it's an elephant, but you can only feel that one portion. That analogy is like, elephant analogies are just wild and complex systems.
Call it an elephant then?
Well, the Mahout, the elephant is the complex system, and the Mahout is the person that allows that complex system to interact with the real world, right? And Mahouts are hated because they torture the elephant. And Mahouts should be hated in our case too, because they're kind of a centralizing piece.
Well, I can see how this could be fun in presentations or something with pictures and shit, but to put it in like
it's even
in vocabulary that people are supposed to learn in order to like interact with the system, I think it's
Even
a
using
step
it
backwards.
twice now, I have to really understand it. Like, you've been to Thailand, you've seen that concept a lot, but not most people do not know.
Yeah, I've hung out with Mahouts.
Yeah.
But like the thing that's important, or the piece on the Mahouts, and then I'll put it down, let it go, is that this is something that the DAO world needs to respect.
Mm-hmm.
That we need someone centralizing leaders that can make procedures and policies. Otherwise, things like the co-op happen.
For sure.
Right? And it's not an easy role either. And being a Mahout's a lifetime job, right? Like, anyway, so the roadmap it's been tweaked. I think I almost have final numbers. Only numbers I have to finish are with the Giveth DApp team, and then it's done. I really hope by next week, this time, it will be done completely. Let's see. The next one is the website.
Yes. It's next year as well, or is it just? You want me to give it a bit?
Yeah. Can you put on your sound and your mute?
Oh, sound on. Wait for 1 second.
It's on your headphones.
Yeah. That is now the case. Okay. So the website is actually kind of done. I was talking to Max a little bit more on the background, and I proposed to him like, hey, maybe we all said that the black looked really good on under the logo. So I proposed to him like, maybe we can just do the black background, or you can do the recolorization of these subtle bubble thingies. And he said like, hey, if you want the black background, that's what I now tried out. And I think it looks really good. It puts the focus on the logo, and it gives a more solid impression. What else? For the rest, the only thing, there's one advisor that still needs to be added, and that's Luke. So I was actually just about to create that issue. For the rest, I think we are fine. The only thing that I wanted to ask you, Bernd, is like, so currently it says no rights reserved. Do we need to have, do you want a link to that document on here, or do we only need that in like once you apply for the whitelist and so on?
I didn't understand the beginning. What was this?
Well, you had at one point you asked Max to create a URL where we can put like the terms and conditions on, right? Do you want that one to also be linked at the bottom of the main homepage, or is that only for people who really apply?
No, it's Mount Palawa already has that link, and they put it into the form. So when you go through the KYC, you checkbox that you read the terms and conditions, and if you really want to read them, you have to click on the link, and this takes you to the PDF. So it's just that part. It just has to be live somewhere, but it doesn't have. We don't need to communicate it other than at the KYC section, and that's already done. That's already integrated. We just need to put the PDF on this URL.
Great. Okay, then I think we're actually about done. So for Patrick and Raphael, so we added the link that says bio, which you requested, and to like the website with their information on. And so the only thing that we're now still gonna do for now is add Luke as an advisor. I asked if it was possible to Max if we could have like 5 in a row, because Griff actually wanted to have the legal counsel on a separate row. But like if we now add Luke or someone else will be in the row with the legal counsel. So I just wanted to actually ask if that was okay, but he just ran out for a second. But
we might also end up with more advisors too. So like, very likely Sherman will be an advisor, and it's very I wouldn't be surprised if we had at least 1 or 2 more advisors. So you might go off moving to like rows of 3, or I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Max just said that if he can do it, but then he really has to code it again entirely, because it's like a template he's using. So my proposal would maybe be for now, until we have more more advisors, that we just add Luke, and that like the legal counsels and one of the advisors is on that second row of advisors, if that's fine, until we have more.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
As long as they're clearly specified as legal advisors, it's cool.
Is there one specific one that you, because people do look like chronologically, is there someone you for sure don't want on the second row? So now we have Simon, Eden, Jordi, and Trent on the first row. So Luke would go to the second row unless you want Luke on the first row and someone else on the second.
I don't think it
doesn't matter. Okay, then I'll just add Luke because he came in later. Cool. So I think if it's good for everyone, I think the website is ready. Cool. Then I give it back to you, Griff.
Cool. Okay. Well, then, so that's our core updates. Does anyone have any other agenda items that they want to cover?
I just wanted to say, let's take a moment. If it's not going to be today because we have other stuff lined up. But then Monday, if we stick to me not working this weekend, that we sit together to just start reading with the Common Stack Twitter account. Laura, you also sent the updated logos, I think, right? So I can put them. So then we can maybe just start tweeting as of Monday and link to that website, and then we're live.
Cool. So launching live on Monday. I would love to have kind of a hackathon Monday, Tuesday. A lot of people are in the same place. It would be really cool to have a hackathon Monday, Tuesday. Lorelai, do you feel like that's cool?
Yeah. Yes, I think that should work out fine.
What's the hackathon about, Chris?
All the things, mostly the 4 things. So if the website's done, then we can just focus on the roadmap, content, confirming that it's cool, the KYC. I don't know if there's anything that we can help there, but the ABC hatch numbers, and just like whatever is not done, we all take it on ourselves to finish, so that we can start raising money before we all leave co-locations. And if we do that kind of hackathon thing, and we can reserve other people that aren't co-located with us to at least like give like big batches of hours for alignment around all this stuff. Basically, it can be like a small mini launch party so that everyone is aligned. So it's basically like, if you can come to Barcelona, amazing. If not, like just putting in big blocks of time to be committed to like everyone being on a video call all day, like focused on Common Stack. Is Lorelei talking? Because we can't hear you guys. No. Okay.
She's coming. Okay, you can talk to mine.
Okay, so I'm trying to organize the calendar for us, so I can't find my Jitsi. But do we want to agree on a set of hours to be present Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll make a calendar event for everyone to block it off? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think I guess I was like this critical moment, the hours as we can commit to on those 2 days. We are present for all of them. It's like this is a Common Stack like drain, like a like please let's take it. We don't even have to all be present for the same hours. It's like it's just closing these 4 issues, right? And I'll be present for any hours that I can be. That's not dedicated to meetings or something like that, basically. And I just hope everyone can be the same just for these 2 days.
Maybe block 2
I
to
can be
6.
available pretty much all day. Calls are mostly in the evening, so anytime until 5 or 6, I'm generally open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do. I can commit like 2 to 6 for those 2 days. Sorry.
Nice. Yeah.
That's Monday 10 and 11th. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to make sure. Yeah, Monday is fine, and yeah, for me it's fine too.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and it might be for you, Bernd. It might be more important that you just set up all these meetings with these guys and like calls, and maybe we can all be on a call or something for like. Because I'm so skeptical about being able to promise Americans that they can participate in this DAO. I feel like we're gonna bait and switch them,
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Cool. Well then, is there any other agenda topics?
The only other thing on there is the July onsite, and I think we are just waiting. Oh no, Abby and Sponnet. So it looks like the end of the month is most promising, perhaps 22 to 26. Abby's already confirmed for that, and Sponnet is checking. So I think we're just waiting on that, but looking like end of the month for July. I will round on the Telegram to confirm and start making next step arrangements if everybody's good with that.
I know Lorelei doesn't like that, but it's acceptable, I think. You want to unmute Lorelei?
22 to 26.
yeah, I mean it's really logistically difficult with the house, but yeah.
Should we consider other locations? I know it's something that was discussed, but we said it was easier logistically to be in Barcelona at the house. But if that is not easier, is there somewhere else that would work for more people?
Nothing else is going to be easier than even the house with extra people in it. It still is way easier than any other option. We're paying rent here for a reason. But yeah, is that a decided group decision then, the 22nd to 26th?
I mean,
maybe Griff and I will just have to stay elsewhere and get an Airbnb or something.
That's the date that everybody is available. Otherwise, we lose either Sponnet or Bernd or Abby and Sponnet, depending on other times.
Those 2 dates that I put as non-available, it's just because I have a fixed doctor specialist appointment, but if I know it in advance, I can move it. So if that would help, just know that.
I'll send some more messages in the Telegram, and we can get some more conversation going before we finalize.
So it sounds logistically like it's the best would be a different time, but if that's the only time that works, we can make it work.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, is there a consideration of like which people are necessary? I mean, I know I haven't. I feel like Abby and Sponnet have both been working really independently.
I think
And
Sponnet.
they're hardly in. Well, sometimes Sponnet's in these calls, but I don't know. I'm just putting that out there.
Sponnet is pretty necessary for this one. Abby, her participation is like waning and coming in and out, so it's hard. But Sponnet is definitely a must-have.
Okay.
I don't think I'm personally a must-have, so we'll see what comes on the agenda if I can be of help. Otherwise, please don't take me into account.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. So if that's everything, I guess we can just go into action steps. I mean, my action steps are just to chase I'm going to try to chase the ABC hash numbers and project milestones. Project milestones first. Abby's taking on the hatch numbers. I don't have an update from her, but I haven't asked either. Does anyone else want to take on like coordinating with Abby? And I don't know. I feel like I have to do it too.
I'd be happy to. Maybe we can create a common channel, or just pick a channel to start pinging her in, because I've pinged her a few times independently. And then other times I feel like you're pinging her independently, and I'm never quite sure if you've already had a conversation or we're both kind of like, it would be nice to just sync up in that, and we can just use that channel to poke and cat herd.
Yeah, maybe a ABC hatch numbers channel in WhatsApp because that's where she's the most responsive, and Zargam is also most responsive.
Yeah, I'll create a channel with the 4 of us.
Yeah, and it's a temporary channel. Maybe it dies. Let's see. So that's a great action step. Thank you, Jeff. KYC action steps.
Yeah. So the KYC is set, so it just needs to be integrated. The action steps I already wrote in there about checking about the U.S. citizens.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Yeah, there's other action steps are like the finalizing the terms and conditions now that we all looked at it, and I think we have the final version now. So I would put that in a PDF and give it to Max so you can add it. So it's part of the KYC then. And I'm still working on the contractual agreement. I had some good comments from Lorelei on them. That's for the IT or the technology providers. What I'm also working on is the advisory agreement. So we need an agreement for the advisors, and I will do this weekend. So it should be also done this weekend. I will send Griff. I will send you the link, or just post it in the channel, and then because we need to the part where the multiplier is explained, that needs some love from your side probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'm setting up with just the 5K and the 3x multiplier. If they put in money before some date, which is basically the date that we can take money plus 2 weeks. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put something in there, and then you can comment.
And then did you see my on the terms and conditions. Can we just chat after the action steps a little bit more on terms and conditions?
Sure.
Anyone else have any other action steps?
All mine are in there, and just working on prioritizing them.
Nice.
And I'm adding Luke as an advisor right now.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well then, thanks guys. Meeting can be officially over, although I would love to chat just a little bit longer on terms and conditions if you're cool with that, Brent.
Yeah, sure.
So I was wondering about this, like, build phase, live phases. Did this change? Like, does it make sense, like, to have this one build phase, but then have like live phases in between?
Yeah, I don't think we should be too specific on those parts, because it's okay to leave some gray area in there. And I think that the way we describe it is that we have the smart contract systems, so it's a plural. And as long as we have that in there, then we can always, put them into a sort of a beta or a testing phase. And that's what we actually want to do, right? It's testing these smart contract systems that we create. And this could be several. This could be different ones.
Yeah. Jeff, did you have something to say on that?
Sorry, I missed that. I was checking into another doc that I'm working on here. Can you repeat that?
Well, just like we have one build phase and multiple live phases. And oh, never mind. Sorry, I read your comment and it says, "Yeah, I'd say so." I'm sorry. I thought it said, "Yeah, I'd say no." Okay.
Yeah, I think we have multiple live phases and one build phase. If that doesn't introduce any legal complexity, I think that's just an easier way to say it.
Okay, cool. I just, I totally misread what your comment said. So never mind. That's it.
Cool.
Okay.
So are we good with the terms and conditions? The version that we last commented on?
Yeah, I added just like one, like two small comments in there, or like little text additions that just make it even a little more other people-y, as I commented on. Other than that, yeah, it looks great.
I have it open now, so just waiting for your comments to show up. Just 1 second. Then we can. You just edited a few seconds ago, it says.
No, this was at noon today.
Yeah, no, it just showed up now. So why doesn't it show anything?
This is are you on version 4?
Ah, there, build phase. Yeah, now I'm in the section 2 build phase. So, and most of all, it's very nice that you edited the format, but usually terms and conditions are really condensed. So it's like the small pack you get with your medicine,
Yeah.
They're supposed to be hard to read.
You don't read this. Don't read this.
Yeah, exactly. Just make it as inconvenient as possible to read them. So it's really funny that you really went through and made it really nicely readable. But that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Just so the one is the plural life is. Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. So we have this plural of live phases and one build phase. No, I don't see any issue in that.
And then can be used to create as opposed to produce or use or something like that. And then just added just those small 2 words, basically.
Can be used to create instead of produce.
So we create the reference implementations, and they could be used to produce purpose-driven tokens for a DAO by someone.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Baron, see you later. I have to go. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, it can be used to create provision tokens for the governance. Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise I think it's great.
Yeah, that's good.
You accepted most of my changes in here, right? Like,
So I'm just accepting these as well. So what else was open?
that's it.
No other comments?
No.
Usually the document shifts over then, but let's see. No, everything's fine. Good.
And then I guess when there's this like collective member versus individual member, just so that Jeff and I can keep it straight, like if an individual member has 10 memberships, they still only get 1 vote in the General Assembly. Is this the case?
Yes.
So would we want to, do you think using that to pick the cause for the DAO is acceptable or not really? Because maybe that's even too membershipy, maybe.
Say again. What is the question?
So the question is like, when we're getting to this point, I mean, there's this like really, I think it'd be really nice to give the members of the common stack whitelist, people that are going to put money in the first field test hatch sale and subsequent ones, to give them the power to pick the cause.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And now it's like, what is the best way to allow them to do that?
So the governance system, the voting system.
Yeah. So like, do we want to use for them to pick the cause even potentially before we launch anything, right? Like, can we allow? How do we use memberships? I guess, and it's 1 person, 1 vote, and then you say this is the cause. But then if we're saying that, like, we're building a reference implementation, but then we're deciding what the reference implementation is about. Well, or like, shouldn't that be the other legal entity that's doing that?
Well, somebody has to create that DAO, and that DAO needs a purpose. I mean, it's always been the live phase is not just created without a purpose. It's always definitely something that we put live, and then it has a purpose. Why not? I mean, there's no. We're not the only thing we don't want to have is like, we don't accept money as an association to give to the live phase, or to it's not that we're receiving the money for the live phase. So we're just putting it out there, and if people think that they want to contribute to that whatever topic we chose, then that's fine.
So then we have to choose, but if we're choosing the topic, doesn't that kind of like make us implicated as launching the live phase even? No?
Again, we can launch the live phase, but we don't own it and we don't run it. Because we created the smart contracts and we put them live, and we put them into a so we have like
we can even deploy it.
Say again?
We can even we can even push the buttons on deploying it. No, we shouldn't do that, right?
No, that's something we shouldn't do.
Okay. But we can pick it up.
Now I see the point where you're getting to. So if we don't deploy it but give it a purpose, and it gets deployed as that purpose, then you would have a connection to the association.
Yeah, especially if we allow members to vote in any official way. I mean,
yeah,
maybe we can create like a really simple, like the first step of the DAO's legal entity is that it gives every token on the whitelist a token, and they get to pick the cause, and it's a proposal, a vote, right? and that's where the live phase starts, is picking the cause. And it's the hatchers that get to pick the cause, and it's an actual proposal in a DAO, and that DAO is technically run by a legal entity.
No, you could maybe do it the other way around, that you create the smart contract system for hatching, and then people don't know why they should invest in. So the first proposal in after the hatch phase could be on the cause, but that's a bit weird.
Yeah, because then you put your money in and you don't know what the cause is going to be.
No, exactly. You hope that you're participating in the right cause that you believe in as well.
Yeah.
And then you're trapped. What if, okay, so what if we do it like the whitelist, that we actually say the Common Stack Association creates this list of priorities where we think these are great commons to create. And then one of these gets created. And we just give it a priority is our membership votes. So our members vote on the priority, and we publish this list. And then whoever deploys the first these smart contracts might use that list or not. It's just coincidence.
Okay. I mean, we can say it that way for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe we're just too cautious anyways, but
well, it's better to be too cautious than not cautious enough, right? Like, just in general.
Yeah, it's so funny because I always think about Emin Gunzura, who sort of has this what consensus protocol or something, what he created, and he says, oh, this just showed up in this list, and and then now we use it and stuff like that. So, and it's clear that he created it, but it's just the way he proposes or explains it to everyone. He really never makes a mistake on that, and that's really nice.
Very careful with words.
Right? Yeah, I really like that, how he does it, because everybody knows, yeah, right, you're not Satoshi Nakamoto, but you're doing it the same style.
It was created. It was deployed. I mean, that's always that's the default, is that you never say who deploys it. You never, you use some address that got Ether from some Monero, and from a Monero swap, and just showed up there, and then who knows who pushed that button, but at least it's there, and this is the one we use, right, guys? Yep.
Exactly. And it's just a recommendation by the association that we feel strongly about these topics.
Yeah.
And maybe, maybe that's the only thing we can do.
Okay. And so that would be a membership vote.
Yeah, we create a list by the members. So the members create or vote on the priorities. We can just put a spreadsheet out, and you can have
it's like, hey, these are what the hatchers want. Like, who knows what happens? Who knows what's going to happen with it? But these are what the hatchers want.
Yeah.
So it's a poll, not a vote. It's signaling. It's not. It's polling. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not saying that we've built this, and now go invest.
So we'll create a priority. I mean, this also is in how we frame it too, because it's like it's something that we can't. I'm so sorry. It's something that we have to that means that I can't say, hey, if you put money in, you get to pick this, right? I can't make that promise, because that's not something we can promise.
No, exactly. We can, but it's not. We shouldn't.
Yeah, of course we can, but it'd be a lie, right? And then they can sue us, because that's like one thing or the other,
Yeah. Are you still recording this?
Yeah.
Great.
that's a good thing.
No.
No. Well, we will unlist it.